Hello, my name is Jackson Lyons, and today I'll be talking to you about my engineering economy presentation. Introduction. I'll be talking to you how to build a 20 foot by 20 foot by 6 inch concrete slab. I'll be going over how much it will cost, the materials needed, along with the time and labor it will take to build this. I'll also talk to you about my estimated predictions and compare them to the reality of what it will actually take to build this. Background. In this scenario, we are building a 20 foot by 20 foot by 6 inch concrete slab for someone's garage. The only given material and cost we have is the concrete mix, and we have a set dollar amount per hour at $55 an hour, which means you have to find how long it'll take along with the other materials used for this project. Estimated cost and labor. For materials used, we only got a few items out of the handful that we need. We only got the main ones, and you'll see how that'll tack on at the end. But for labor, we only put pouring concrete and setting concrete. We didn't account for anything else. And you'll see how that pans out later. Estimated material cost and total cost. As you can see, we only got the rebar, the lumber for formwork, labor, and concrete mix. With the rebar costing $551.25. Lumber coming around to $88, labor coming around to $1,100, and the concrete mix coming around to $2,640. And that total will equal around $4,379.25. Plus rentals will be around $4,804.25. And for rental, I decided to put these in because they're very important when building anything with concrete. You need something to mix concrete, you need something to put the concrete in the work site. And I thought a wheelbarrow makes it pretty good uses. For a wheelbarrow, you can find one for $75 to rent for 30 days at Ace Hardware. And for the motor mixer, you can find one for $350 at a Home Depot for 90 days for return. And this will come out to a total for rental at around $425. Actual cost and labor. We did not account for the nails, chairs, gravel base, or a lot of other things that are going to be used in this project. And as you can see, we also forgot to, for labor, we also forgot to add the preparation, which is setting up the work site to make sure it's good to go. We didn't add the formwork, which is building the actual form so that concrete has an actual mold. The reinforcement, making sure that the rebars were in the actual formwork, make sure it would be strong once it's finished drying. We got the concrete pour. We didn't put the finishing, which is making sure the surface is nice and smooth. It looks nice. Cut control joints, we didn't add that either. Making sure that there's places where the concrete can crack that are out of sight and are obviously controlled. We also didn't put cleanup, which is cleaning up the site. And as you can see, the total went from 20 hours to around 54 hours. Actual material cost and total cost. As you can see, the rebar and form boards are more specified, and the prices are also different, with the rebar being $179.40 now, and the form boards being around $52.24. And as you can see, with the extra labor, the price went up to around $2,970. Concrete mix stayed the same since we already had that. And then the gravel base, chair supports, form release, penny nails, and wooden stakes are all things we missed. And as you can see, the price added up, and with now has a total of around $6,287.18, plus rentals being around $6,712.18. Comparing labor. As I've already said, we forgot a lot of labor. We didn't specify good enough at what we defined as labor. And as you can see, the actual labor had 34 hours over the estimated labor, since we didn't have the prep work, form work, reinforcement, and all that other stuff. Comparing materials and costs. As you can see, we also got a lot of materials. For the gravel base, chairs, form release, paintings, etc. And we got a lot of the price wrong for the actual rebar and formwork and labor. With the difference between the estimated total and the actual total came around to $1,907.93. And since we were looking for a difference, the added price with the rentals didn't really change anything. In fact, nothing changed. That being said, this project, the estimated project is around $2,000 in debt, but that's it.